huge shift in resin art. I can see this blowing up. This could be the future for resin art. Let's flip it. How insane. Right, we are back with an absolutely epic resin art video. I can see this potentially becoming a massive shift, a huge shift in resin art. I can see this blowing up. Now we are taking an idea from a different kind of art form to resin art. You know what I'm like. I like to kind of explore different things. This has taken me 2 weeks to perfect, guys. So I'm still not 100% there yet. Give me some time. This is new. It's new to resin art. So yeah, what we're going to be doing is bringing something called the Norton tile effect, which is basically a laser art form, which was created by a guy called Nicky Norton quite a while back, where you take a ceramic tile. I've kind of been lost doing this, guys. It's really is addictive. Now, the original idea was that you basically coat this with a titanium dioxide solution and it dries, and then you put that through the laser system and it basically burns the image onto the ceramic tile. Now, I'm going to show you something that I've been doing, not with titanium dioxide. This has been with black spray paint. So the details are phenomenal, what you can achieve. Now, of course, these have been created using AI, and I know what many of you are probably thinking, and I do agree in, you know, with some of your thoughts that AI could and is killing art. I mean, but we can actually use this in a good way, and I'll show you shortly how we can kind of turn this and shift this. Some people think AI, oh that's great, that's just an AI image. I mean, take this one for example. This one took me about 1.5 hours to 2 hours, I think, if I remember rightly, to build this image and tell the AI exactly what I wanted, even in the background, down to the positioning. You know, it's not as easy as just typing in what you want, but it can be once you get to know the AI. Again, I've been doing this for 2 weeks. I mean, you can get some really crazy, I made this for our daughter, really crazy designs and such good detail. So yeah, playing around with the Norton white tile effect kind of got me thinking, could we bring this to resin art? And it doesn't have to be AI images. It could be any image you've got. You can scan it onto your computer, a photo from your mobile gallery, literally anything you want, something you found online that you want. As long as we can convert it onto the laser program, anything will work. It doesn't have to be AI, but I have been playing around with it, and I'll show you a quick clip of kind of an image idea that I've built just for this video. I'm going to use some others as well, but I'm not going to go through all of those. But if you do want any of those images, what I'll do, I'll pop them on the community tab, so you can just download them and use them if you want. It's entirely up to you. Now, before we jump into the reason why you're here, this is a really important disclaimer. Now, but first of all, I need to make a public apology to everyone. In one of my previous videos where I used my laser system, I said that it's not safe to use a laser alongside resin or epoxy. And I stand by that to an extent. But like I said, I've been trying to master this for 2 weeks, and I've got to a stage where I'm confident enough to put a video out. I have had some really bad instances where I've had to hit the emergency stop button on my F1 Ultra. You know, crackling sounds, smoke, you name it, it happened. But I've managed to tailor the settings, the focus settings, the power settings, so that the laser is only affecting the titanium dioxide that we're going to put on the back of our resin. As long as your focus is set correctly and you're using a fiber laser like I am, you should be able to get this right first time. If you want to start at a lower power first, do that, and then kind of work it up notch by notch until you start seeing the effect, the laser etched effect on your resin. But yeah, make sure your laser is well vented outside a window, your hose. Make sure you're still wearing a mask. Follow all your safety guidelines for laser. Follow all your safety guidelines for resin, and you should be safe. Again, I'm doing this on the F1 Ultra. I don't know about blue light lasers. I don't know about CO2 lasers. I'd just say don't risk trying it. But if you have the F1 Ultra with a fiber laser, these are the settings that you want to use, but just do it safely. So here we are with Gemini Pro 2.5. You can do this on the free version. So we're just going to start building an idea. So I'm basically asking the AI to generate an image of a black and white fairy woman in a magical forest. In the background is a magical fairy themed forest. So I said forest twice there, but it doesn't matter. I fast forwarded the kind of loading times. It can take between 30 seconds and a minute per image. But what we get is basically an idea that we can then tweak. So basically, I'm saying keep everything the same, but have her admiring a butterfly which has landed on her hands. So it's really smart. Sometimes it does make mistakes and it can be stressful. I must admit, you do have to tell the system off sometimes. See, now it's kind of reverted it to a more cartoon theme. I want it to make, I want it to look realistic. So I'm basically telling the system to make it look more hyper realistic. And that's the key with this kind of imaging, is using the wording hyper realistic. You might have to prompt it a couple of times. So there we have an image with the fairy and the butterfly. I'm still not happy with it. So now I just say, show me several more like this, but have her standing further away in the distance, because I don't want her to kind of overpower the background. So again, it's just generating that image. So that's better. You know, I'm liking the background's got kind of depth and everything's looking fine. So I asked for more, and it will just generate more images similar to what that last image was. Sometimes again it can go a little bit wrong, so you have to prompt it again. So now what I'm asking the system to do is have her sit on a mushroom house. So it's got more of a kind of fairy, you know, fairy theme. And the mushroom house was a bit bigger than what I wanted, so I wasn't that specific. So now I go into the specifics. So I say close. The mushroom house must be half her size. So sometimes you do have to be specific, so it knows kind of scale. So you can see now it shrunk that little mushroom house down. It's really, honestly, it's really clever. Image building, it can be quite addictive. So now I want to add some smaller houses with kind of little bridges interconnecting them. Again, it generates that image in 30 seconds to a minute. And you can just see kind of how you can take an idea that you've got in your mind and build a really good image that we can use and tweak it in any way we want. And of course, this chat is saved to the system, so you could go back into it at any time and retweak the image. And that's really good for kind of personalizing any kind of art that you want. I could make dragons in this instead of a butterfly on a hand, baby dragons. It's really, really clever. But yeah, so we're kind of getting there. So I just basically asked for more. So it keeps generating the same thing, but in different styles. And some of the images are absolutely phenomenal. I'm not sure which one I'm going to pick yet. But yeah, make the mushroom house she's sitting on a bit smaller because it was a little bit too big and a little bit too overpowering. So yeah, it's kind of just tweaking it until you're happy with the results. I've sat for hours sometimes just playing around with this, and it really it's really addictive, kind of making whatever you've got in your mind come to life. So now I want some lights on in the mushroom houses, just so I've got a bit of contrast to work with on the piece that I'm going to be making. And there you can see that is a phenomenal picture. I think I'm using that. So yeah, it's just on my phone. I can just sit there of an evening and just kind of create whatever I have in my mind, or whatever, maybe, I don't know, a customer might want. I've done really crazy photorealistic designs that actually look like real photographs using this. It's phenomenal. So once you've got your image, you just click on it, and then you've got the download button up here. So it just downloads straight to your phone gallery. You can then transfer it to your computer to using the software. So I think I'm going to go with this for one of them. And again, I'm going to make up some more different designs. But yeah, if you want them, they'll be on the community tab. Just ask in the comments. So here we are loading up the XCS Xtool software. And what we are going to do here is load up our image, just drag and drop into the program and scale that to fit to open it. And we can just play around with this as mentioned before in a previous video, that grid that you see in the background is the actual surface area inside the laser machine. So we're going to take an image of that shortly anyway. So the material that I've been playing around with, it was already set to ceramic coast off because I was playing around with the Norton white tile effect anyway. So I just tweaked around the settings inside this. You can see my F1 Ultra is connected, image output is on, it's set to engrave. We need to make sure we select the fiber IR laser type, and then we're going to change the bitmap mode to grayscale. This is really, really easy. And then all we do is just adjust these sliders so that the laser only really affects the titanium dioxide. So the dot duration is how long the laser stays in one space for. So we're going to set that to 370, and we're going to really drop the power down to 1 to 11. And then the dots per inch are basically, it's the detail in the image. You can keep it at 700 if you want, but it will take longer. You'll get more detail with 700, but this is the speed that I'm setting. Then we just take an image of the inside of the laser. I've already put one of the pieces inside, ready to go. So then we just, play around with the sizing, making sure it's spaced right. Doesn't matter if there's little edges around the outside, you can touch those up with some isopropyl afterwards. And then auto measure. Like I said before, it is really important you get the focus set right. And then we just process. And you can see here, this one here is only taking, I think it was 13 minutes. I'm watching this back voicing over. Click start, hit the button on the little, what do you call it? The little control panel. There you go, 13 minutes, just over 13 minutes to process that. And here comes the hyperlapse. So what you will see here is quite different to the Norton white tile effect, where the laser actually burns the image onto the tile. I've done some test runs with that. It actually burns the titanium dioxide black onto the tile. What we've done is just taken away the areas of the titanium dioxide that we don't want, basically. So this is from the flip side. Doesn't look like much at the moment, but once we've backed that, I mean, the detail in this is absolutely phenomenal. For such a small piece, it's absolutely crazy. But you can play around with the settings inside the software as well to make the brighter areas lighter or darker. It all depends on what you want. But if I was to scrub that now, it's going to ruin the image. So I have to be careful not to kind of play around with this too much. So we're kind of up to where I am at the moment with this. But again, the potential for backing this, what I would do if I wanted to, say, use nail powders, for instance, I would give this a very thin coat of resin just to hold that titanium dioxide and the design almost. It's because I'm staring at my camera and not at my hand. Can't really see the distance from it. I almost ruined it. Yeah, I would skim it with a very thin coat of resin, and then I could brush on the colors where I wanted them, maybe a gold in certain areas. Keep your fingers away. But you can just see how incredible this is, and the potential for backing. I mean, I don't know how. There's going to be so many different things we can do, but I don't know. I haven't got that far with this yet, and I don't want to touch it. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to give this a quick spray with some black spray paint, just to hold everything in, seal it all in, and really darken up those darker areas of the image. And then I could, if I wanted to, give it a layer of epoxy just to hold everything else in. But look at that. So this one I've done on epoxy. I kept the resin inside the coaster, but what I forgot to do was kind of flip the image. So when I take this out, it's going to be kind of in reverse, but it doesn't really matter. You wouldn't really know. And instead of black spray paint with this one, I'm just going to top this up with black epoxy. You can see I've left enough in there, and I want to see if the edges of the mold they don't look like they've been affected. So yeah, I'm going to top that up and we'll see that at the end also. And here we have just 3 more hyperlapses. We've got a sugar skull with some flowers in the background. And this one is another fairy themed, one of the previous images that you saw me generating. And the same with this one. This was, I think, one of the first ones of her sitting on the branch in the forest. Okay, we're almost done. Now this one here, my mold is very, very dull. So we can, I want us to see more of the detail. I'm going to give that a quick dip or a quick glaze coat with some UV resin. Okay, I've given that a quick sand and that is now ready to dip. As always, this dipping pot is just my Let's Resin UV resin. Let's see. I really do think this could be the future for resin art. Not for everyone, but I really do think this is the way that resin art is going to go. Okay, let's flip it. That is incredible. You see, when I turned it there, it looked like the light was coming through, the actual light was coming through the forest trees. That is so detailed. It's incredible. Okay, we're almost at the end now. It's just time for results. Coaster mold, absolutely fine. Everything just wiped away. There's no marking. The laser hasn't kind of gone through the resin and marked the coaster mold in any way, which is absolutely perfect. So this one here was one of my earlier practice runs. You've probably seen this one on my Facebook or Insta. Absolutely incredible. I tell you what, some really profanity words come out of my mouth when I saw this for the first time. It was absolutely incredible. I was shocked. My jaw dropped. It's the detail is phenomenal with this. I mean, alternatives to this like probably things like temporary tattoos and stuff, but you're limited to what you can actually buy. Vinyl cutting machines, not quite the same. You just can't get this level of detailing in a piece like that. It's absolutely incredible. And like I said, I can play around with maybe inverting the image in different ways, maybe using acrylic paints. I'm going to test quite a few moving forward. I know many of you are probably going to say, oh, I would have loved to have seen some in colour. Guys, bear with me. Like I said, this is kind of the beginning of this, bringing that Norton white tile effect or technique to resin art. This is kind of just the basic video. So if there are any questions, let me know in the comments. But as always, give the video a thumbs up, drop me a comment. If you haven't subbed, it is free. Hit that button for me. Help the channel grow. So that was one that you've probably seen online. My mind is going crazy with ideas for this. And this was the sugar skull. It's got some really good depth there. I think I could play around with that and make it look more 3D. Again, my molds are quite dull, but you can see the potential. It's phenomenal. And I did cheat, like I said, I did cheat spraying the backs with black spray paint. Obviously, the best way to do it is like I did with the coaster, a layer of black epoxy to finish it off. Okay, the one that we initially worked on, you can see that blobbing effect in the background from spraying. My spray bottle, it kept clogging up. It's not a really good one, so it was kind of spurting out bigger droplets of the solution. So I need to work on that and get a finer mist, one that's going to really evenly coat, but potentially white spray paint. I don't know. Like I said, I need to play around with this, but let me zoom in. I mean, even if you was to print a picture off, laminate it and put it in resin, I think you'd see the dots from the printer. I don't think you'd get this level of detail with anything else. It's phenomenal. And this was only at that DPI setting that I showed. If I'd have gone to a higher DPI, like I did with the coaster, I think I cranked the coaster up a little bit more on the DPI to get more detail in, and you'll see that in a moment. This is the one that we've just dipped. I love it. I really do love it. I think with like a tinted creamier white, maybe it will give it a kind of vintage look. I'm not sure. It looks like a real photograph. So crisp and detailed. I mean, look at her face. That is phenomenal. And I mean, pop that in a bezel. A better one than that. Hopefully. It's so unique. Any design you want, you can just sit there. Anything that comes to your mind, just create it, tweak it, adjust it, laser it, and there you go. I mean, you could, with that laser machine, the space that's inside, you could put so many cabochons inside and so many images in the program. Make sure you get your settings right and just do all of them at once. It will laser all of the backs at once. Might take a little bit of time, but I'll tell you what, it's worth it. For 15-16 minutes. The coaster took an hour and 20 minutes, but again, I cranked up that DPI and it's a lot bigger. And there is the coaster. How insane is that? Let me get you some close-up shots. And there is the fairy. You can see again, we've got that slight blotchy in the background. But what I could do in future is put more trees in the background, for instance. So we're reducing, because if you look in the gaps here, you can't really see much of the blotching. But it kind of, to me, it looks like some kind of magical force field that's there. Look at that intricate detailing. And there you've got all the smaller mushrooms, even the grass, the little bridge. Absolutely phenomenal. Like, imagine this with glows, with glow powders, so it really does, when the lights go out, give you a really interesting effect. Even down to the door, it's got texture. It's phenomenal. What's that? I panicked then. It's absolutely incredible, guys. Can you tell how excited I am for this? So, I mean, there we have it. If you've already got the Xtool F1 Ultra, have a little play around with these settings. And yeah, let me know in the comments how you get on. If you've got another channel, tag me in the video. I'll come over and check it out. If you need any help, pop it in the comments. But yeah, if you haven't, I think there is another sale on. Don't quote me to that. But I'll pop the Xtool website links in the description box below. But how do you feel about AI, guys? I mean, like I said, it's very kind of, I mean, we're stuck with it. We are stuck with it. There's no getting rid of AI now. It's here. And it is here to stay. So I think we just need to kind of learn how to use it. I mean, I'm still no pro at it. I've only a couple of weeks. And try and use it to our advantage in a way. Like you've seen here, to be able to create unique pieces that nobody else is selling. I mean, I'm going to give you these images for free, so you can do whatever you want with them. But it would be very hard for somebody else to replicate this completely, because AI will give you a different image each time. And that's the unique thing, is once you've got that image saved to your device, it's yours. People can kind of make an image similar to it again, but it would be very, very, very difficult to get an exact replica of that. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Again, any comments, any questions, hit the comment section, and I will see you for the next one. We are definitely going to evolve this more, and I'm so excited. See you for the next one. Bye for now. I just realized I missed showing you this one. I really wish that I'd thought about it and flipped the image so that it was facing the right way, but what's done is done. You wouldn't know. So this one, I mean, it's good, but again, that blotchiness ruined it a bit from the spraying the solution. The detail, it's not perfect. I need to adjust the grayscale slider in the XCS program a little bit to play around with that. But it is still really crisp and stunning, almost 3D like. Yep, sorry, almost missed it.